Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I was not doing anything tonight, and there's been so much news going on. I figured I'd do a stream. I really want to grow the channel anyway, and I enjoy doing these streams. Bellator 267s tomorrow. We now have Islam Makhachev versus Dan Hooker announced. We didn't talk very much about Jose Aldo versus Rob Font. We got the whole John Jones situation. We got Walker versus Thiago Santos coming up. So I figured, why not do a quick stream and talk about all the MMA news, whatever you guys want to talk about, really, in the chat. Uh, really, in the last month or two, I've been trying to stream as much as possible, just to help grow the channel. But also, it's fun. I mean, there's so many topics that pop up that I don't have a chance to make a video about. So this is the perfect time to talk about them on this, on this random stream, and the live chats every Wednesday. So it's Thursday at 8 p.m. I'm pulling up something real quick. I've started trying to do this every single stream. But, so, by the way, I just got a comment. Somebody called me a casual on the Islam video. Hilarious. But I always like to say this. So it is September 30th, 2021. We are at 1,293 subscribers, guys. Thank you so much. I can't believe, I can't believe we're growing so fast, it seems like. Before you know it, we're going to be at 2,000 subscribers. I streamed on Tuesday. I streamed the Dana White Contender Series. Yesterday, I did the live chat. Today, just a random stream. And tomorrow, around 4 p.m. Eastern, I have it scheduled on here. I'll be doing a stream, and we can talk. We'll be watching UFC, or not UFC, Bellator 267 MVP versus Douglas Lima 2. I did a prediction video on it because I felt like it wasn't getting enough attention, and I feel like it's an interesting Bellator fight. So I did a prediction video on it. I always like to interact with you guys, so that's the other reason I jump on here. So just fill the chat with any questions. There's literally so much news. I'm actually pulling up an MMA website right now because literally there's so much news. I haven't even had a chance to make a video on everything I've wanted to make, and I've literally been putting out so many videos, and still haven't had a chance to really cover absolutely everything. Apparently, Cub Swanson versus Darren Elkins was added to a December 18th card. Derek Lewis versus Chris Dawkins was announced for December 18th. We talked about that a little bit. And one thing I did want to talk about is there's a chance, okay, guys, hear me out. And I thought about making a video about this, but I didn't know if people would understand what I was trying to say, and I didn't know how I would title it. There's a chance we get 3 fights canceled on UFC 267. And because of those 3 cancellations, we get 3 better fights. And let me explain to you what I mean. Glover Teixeira versus Jan Blachowicz is the main event. Let's say Glover Teixeira falls out for whatever reason. We know who the backup is. It's Yuri Prochazka. For me personally, even though I know Glover deserves a shot, I want to see Glover versus Jan Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz versus Yuri Prochazka is wildly more interesting to me. Co-main event was supposed to be Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling pulls out. It's now Petr Yan versus Corey Sandhagen. Wildly more entertaining for me from a stylistic standpoint. I know we got the whole storyline. I want to see the division get resolved. But for me, my personal favorite matchup that you can make in the bantamweight division right now is Petr Yan versus Corey Sandhagen. Then you had RDA versus Islam Makhachev. RDA pulls out, and now we got Islam versus Hooker, which is a great fight. Honestly, it's a great fight. That's the only one I don't know if it's better, but still. Yeah, I said Hooker could without a doubt land that knee right at the middle. He loves that knee up the middle. Guys, keep throwing in the questions. Yusuf, this is just a random stream. French fries, yes, you got it right. Yeah, I just randomly scheduled it. Eventually, if I can get to a point where I can do YouTube like a full-time thing, I'd probably stream every single day of the week, honestly. There's so much to always talk about, and you guys always have great questions. Adam says, you're the best. Thank you, Adam. I greatly appreciate you. Dan Hooker and Islam is going to be boring and not very interesting fight. I think it's going to be a very interesting fight. It's the best fighter that Islam Makhachev has ever faced. That's without a doubt. That's unquestionable. And even if you think Islam runs him over, it's still a very fun matchup. And I'm happy to see Islam tested against a quality opponent, even if it is on short notice. After this, we're going to really see him get tested. If he can beat Dan Hooker, we're going to see him against a really good quality opponent. Maybe a Beneil Dariush or something like that. I don't think he deserves a title shot with a win over Dan Hooker, but I think one more fight after that and a big name, honestly. Can you look at Woodley's body of work and resume and judge if he's Hall of Fame? Yusuf, you got to stop bringing up Woodley. But I'm going to say I do not think he's Hall of Fame. I'm not going to pull up his resume. I don't even want to talk about him, man. He's an embarrassment to the MMA community. And he's just constantly bringing up freak show fights. And that stuff just aggravates me. And that's the one thing I just don't. I'll talk about it occasionally. But I'm just going to say I don't think he's Hall of Fame. The fights that he won, even championship level fights, were not dominant. His run to the title wasn't all that great. So I will say he had some good title defenses. Don't get me wrong. The Darren Till win was impressive. The Robbie Lawler dethrone was impressive. But again, I just don't think the resume is there for a Hall of Fame. And especially the way he's embarrassed himself after the fact. Guys, do me a favor. Do not forget to like the stream. Run up the likes on the stream. That's how this gets pushed to other people so they can watch the live stream and become subscribers of the channel. So just do me a favor real quick. Like the stream. Do me that favor. I greatly appreciate it. Also, guys, you have to be a subscriber to participate in the chat. So if you're not subscribed, go subscribe right this second so that way you can participate in the chat. I would greatly appreciate that as well. Let's see what else. And keep the questions coming, guys. I don't know how long I'm going to do this because I just randomly decided to jump on here. But if you guys keep the questions coming, we'll stay on here for, half hour, something like that. What's going on, Joel? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by the stream. That's the first time I've seen you here today or seen you in a stream, so I appreciate you. Hooker by flying knee or snooze fest. Could be that flying knee. Or really like step-in knee, I would call it. So excited for Jones versus the district judge. I think I'm going to do a solo video on John Jones. I've been putting it off because I've been putting out so many other videos. But, man, it's infuriating. He's constantly in trouble. Do you think Derek or Dawkins? I think Dawkins. I think he's strong, he's fast, he's athletic. As long as he can avoid the big power punch of Derek Lewis, I think he dances around him and beats him up, and he has the power to put him away. Derek Lewis doesn't have very much to offer. Even though he's a fan favorite, he just doesn't have an elite skill set, and he doesn't evolve. He's the same guy he's the same guy that got slept by Matt Mitrione. He's not improved at all. So I'm going to go Dawkins. Islam versus Dan Hooker. I am excited. Yeah, it should be fun. Dan Hooker is nuts for taking this fight, Dustin. Yes, he is. Would they make the UFC terrible? I've never seen a fighter fall off worse than him. Yeah, dude. I literally don't even like to say his name anymore. He's an embarrassment. He's an absolute embarrassment. And it seems like he's just constantly looking for clout now. And he just wants freak show fights. And he fought like shit in his last 4 UFC fights. Then he goes and takes this basically celebrity boxing match. And he doesn't even try to fight. And then he claims he wins. And then he's begging for a rematch. And he just looks like a fool all the way around. Islam is going to win for sure. I wouldn't be so sure. I'm picking Islam, but I'm not super confident that Islam wins. Islam is in a weird spot because he's looked very good, but he has been stopped before. Islam has been. I think who did he get KO'd by? I can remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's like Adreno Martins. Adreno Martins KO'd him with a punch back in 2015. And his stand-up is not very technical. It's not super crisp. He could get caught and KO'd, honestly. I think Islam's going to win. I think he's going to drag Dan Hooker to the ground, beat him up on the ground, and probably submit him. If I had to give you my early prediction, which I did in my most recent video. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm not so confident that the fight is not interesting to me. I think that Dan Hooker could pull it off. If he can keep it on the feet for maybe 50% of the fight, he gets taken down not early in the rounds, I think he can pull off it. Did you talk about O'Malley versus Paiva? A lot of fans are pissed. Did they announce that? Did I miss that? Nostalgic? Blaze One, what's going on? Guys, do not forget to like the stream. That's all I ask. Just like the stream. If you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description. Let me see if I can pull this up. There you go. There's the loyalty badges right here, and also the custom emojis. If you become a member of the channel, it's a great way to support the channel, and you get access to that stuff right there. I greatly appreciate it. It's just a way to support the channel. It's costs very little, but I very much appreciate you becoming a member. And you'll pop up green in the chat if you do become a member on the stream. So let's see. Keep the questions coming. Yeah, it's official. UFC 269. Damn, that must have just been announced. Let me look that up real quick. I don't see it any. Oh, I do see it on here. I don't see it again. I don't see it on any good websites. I see it on bjpen.com, but I don't trust them. Oh, it is. Okay, so Brett Okamoto tweeted it out at 7:14. At 7:14. That's a shit fight, dude. That is a shit fight, honestly. But thank you for letting me know, Nostalgic. Thank you. I missed that one. I think, man, I don't even know what to say anymore. Paiva, I'm pretty sure, was losing the fight. I'm trying to remember. I remember he just recently fought. But now I got to search it up because I don't remember. Either way, I mean, how is O'Malley not constantly not fighting anyone? He does not want to fight anyone at any time. It's so annoying, man. I'm trying to remember Raulian Paiva, I think is how you pronounce it. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember his last fight. It was against Kyler Phillips. He was losing early, came back to win later. I remember that was okay. I remember because Kyler Phillips was whooping that ass early. So it's another, what I suspect to be a rather easy win for him. And it's just annoying at this point. Sean O'Malley talks so much shit. He's got a cult following behind him, and this is the fights that he's taken. And then he comes out and says, "I want to fight this guy. I want to fight that guy," but I don't believe it. The UFC tried to book him versus Frankie Edgar. Hopefully, Paiva finishes Sean O'Malley, kicks his legs. He gets stretchered out of the cage again, and hopefully the UFC just cuts him. He can go be a star in Bellator. It's really a terrible fight. You know, when you look at the division, there were so many people that were raising their hands to fight him. But no matter what, he can't hide forever. He eventually has to fight someone. French Fries, thank you for throwing the emojis in the chat, man. I'm going to add more soon. I'm going to get more made. What's up, everyone? What's going on, Probably 76? What's your thoughts on it? I already gave you that. Hello. It was an upset win. He was ranked 15. Yeah, yep, I remember now. I remember he was losing early and came back to win in the last 2 rounds. He lost the first round. I think he got hurt a couple times. Kyler Phillips was beating him up pretty badly. And it was a close fight. Sometimes when I forget fights, I'll find out what card it was on, and then I'll go back and watch my post-fight and just refresh myself on my thoughts of the fight. But yeah, Sean O'Malley, they couldn't get him a better opponent. It's just annoying. It's just really annoying because, how long is he going to continue to fight nobodies and talking all that shit, and he's just fighting nobodies? Got tickets for UFC 268. I'm crazy excited. Robert Rutherford, I am crazy excited for you, man. That is awesome. Dude, that card is stacked. UFC 268 is absolutely stacked. Just from top to bottom with great fights. Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, Weili Zhang, Rose Namajunas, Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje. I don't even remember. There's so many great fights on that card, man. Robert, I'm so happy for you that you're going to that card. I'm going to look up the rest of the fights because I knew there's a bunch of great fights on that card that I even forgot about already. Yeah, Frankie Edgar, Marlon Vera, Sean Strickland, Luke Rockhold, Edmund Shabazian, Imanov, Ala Quinta, Bobby Green, Baghassarian versus TJ Larmy, Alex Pajeda versus Micheladas, but Alex Perez, the guy that's finished Adesanya in kickboxing. Shane Burgos versus Billy Q. So many great fights on that card. I love it. How do you think Peter Yan will fight Sandhagen stylistically? I think he'll be very well rounded. I think he will kick the legs. I think he will strike with him. I think he will mix in the grappling. And if I was him, I don't know if his fight. I mean, he seems like he has a pretty good fight IQ, but I really believe that he can easily outgrapple Sandhagen. I mean, we've seen Jan is a far superior striker to not Israel Adesanya, to a far superior grappler to Aljamain Sterling. We've seen that in his last fight. So if Aljamain Sterling outgrapples Sandhagen, Jan outgrapples Sandhagen. And Jan should do it. I mean, it ain't worth getting caught with a flying knee or a crazy punch from Sandhagen. Has power, spinning heel kick to temple like he did Marlon Moraes. So to answer your question, I think Jan mixes it up because he's really sound defensively. But I think if he's smart, he kicks the legs, stays at distance early, and when he does get in, throw a combination, initiate the clinch, ragdoll him to the ground. Thoughts on Cejudo Volk? I don't even like to talk about Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo is gone. All he's looking for is attention. He thinks he's a bigger draw than he is. He retired to try to negotiate with the UFC, and they said, see you later, we don't give a shit. He's overrated as hell to begin with. He didn't beat Mighty Mouse. It was a very close fight, but he didn't beat Mighty Mouse. Got a gifted decision. Wins the bantamweight title off of Marlon Moraes when Marlon was beating his ass for 2 rounds. And then on top of that, he beat TJ, but the only reason he probably beat TJ is because TJ drained himself down to 125. I'm happy he beat TJ, but I'm just saying, he's overrated. He's not even, all that great. I think Petr Yan would beat the brakes off of Henry Cejudo badly. Yan would wreck Henry Cejudo. But that's just my opinion. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. I look at Yan as one of those legendary fighters who rarely lose, so this fight is interesting. Nostalgia. You want to see how much I like Petr Yan? Check this out. I got a Yan autograph right here. It's the Jose Aldo fight. You see the autograph right in the middle here? Right there, that's the autograph. I bought this online. That's how much I like Yan. I have a bunch of MMA memorabilia, and I posted on the members only feed. So if you guys want to become a member, use the link in the description and join and become a member. But I really think I don't see anyone in the bantamweight division beating Yan at this point in time. There's nobody that I see beating him. Somebody's going to have to finish him on the feet, and he's so defensively sound. I don't know who does it. I mean, Corey Sandhagen is the best bet, honestly. Corey Sandhagen is the best bet to beat him, but I just don't think he's going to have it. I love the fight. I think Sandhagen has a better chance than Aljamain Sterling to beat Yan, but I really don't see it happening. Yan is he's so sound defensively. He has great striking, whether it be the leg kicks, whether it be the body attacks, whether it be the hands, the boxing, the Muay Thai, the clinch work. And it's just, I don't see any real holes in his game, Aljamain Sterling did a good job crowding him early, but, he didn't really land. Yan shelled up, absorbed the strikes, blocked the strikes, and I just don't see anybody being able to take him out. Geez, that's nice. I remember watching that fight on the first Fight Island card. Yeah, it was a great fight. It was a great fight. I mean, I know it ended badly for Aldo, but early on, I mean, they were chopping each other's legs heavily. When are you betting McGregor holding when are you getting McGregor holding? Never. I will never buy that. I think maybe TJ could beat Yan, at least have a good chance. Yeah, I think he has a chance, but not that big, not that good of one. I think Yan outstrikes him. He's not going to drown. I think he has more power. Aljo is praying Sandhagen win, without a doubt. So, Aljamain Sterling, I don't believe, I said this in a video, I do not believe Aljamain Sterling is ducking him. I think Aljamain Sterling knows he might probably lose. But at the end of the day, fighting Petr Yan again is going to be the biggest paycheck that he's going to get in the UFC. So, there's no sense in pulling out. And also, if he has a serious injury and the doctors aren't clear, it's not like when a fighter pulls out of a fight. It's not like the UFC just takes their word for it and they say, oh, okay, he's out. No, they go to doctors and the UFC doctors and their own personal doctors, and they send information. And he has legitimate problems, but without a doubt, he is praying to God that Sandhagen somehow pulls it off because Jan is just a nightmare matchup. And also, I think this is a blessing for him anyway, because there's no way you can make the needed improvements to beat Peter Yan in such a short period of time. You know, they only fought in March. They were supposed to fight, you know, the end of October. So, what's that, about roughly 7 months? Aljo is not going to be able to make the necessary improvements to beat him on 7 months. It's just not happening. So, he has a little bit more time. This is where I wish the UFC had a set of rules in place for champions, okay? And what I mean is the UFC plays too many games with stripping belts, vacant belts, interim belts. I wish they had a concrete set of rules. No matter what happened, what fighters were involved, this is what we did. So let's say you did not defend your belt for 1 year. Let's strip you. Just make that a rule, no matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's Conor McGregor. It doesn't matter if it's Demetrius Johnson. I wish they had a concrete set of rules regardless. And that way we didn't have to play this game. Oh, well, what, you know, because if Aljamain Sterling can't fight till next summer, are we going to wait till next summer to have a legitimate champion? That's why I wish they had rules, but if they strip him now, I don't think that's right. I think he needs to have a decent amount of time, and they can, if they don't make it back in that time, then they're stripped, and maybe they get a shot upon return, maybe they don't. I wish they had a legitimate set of rules. I really do, guys. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. That's the best way to help the channel grow. I greatly appreciate you. And if you guys want to participate in the chat, and I do these streams weekly, if you want to participate in the chat, go subscribe to the channel. Because of trolls, I had to turn on the subscribe feature, so you can't post a message in the chat unless you're subscribed for at least 1 minute. So once you subscribe, a minute later, you can send messages in the chat. I can't stand Aljo. He really does a great job of getting over. You just have to ignore him, man. You have to ignore him because what he's doing now is he knows people are going to hate him anyway, so he's intentionally being annoying. What I found particularly annoying about him was when he was trying to leverage a fight with Henry Cejudo after getting a belt via DQ. That really annoyed the piss out of me. But obviously that's not going to happen. Yan's going to beat his ass again. I have zero respect for Aljo. He's being annoying intentionally. Aljo's the GOAT. That's hilarious. Do you think UFC 267 is better now than before the replacements? Yes and no. Just because I really do love the Jan versus Sandhagen, but at the same time, I hate that the division's kind of held up now. I really hate that the division is kind of held up, and I wish we could just get Aljamain Sterling out of the way, and it could be for the undisputed belt. Honestly, that's the only reason I hate it. But, I mean, they're all great fights. I don't think it's gotten worse, and I think you could make an argument that it's gotten better. And UFC 267 and UFC 268 are back to back. Rutherford, Robert, do you live in New York or you just live close? That's awesome. You're going to 268. It's Saturday is UFC 267. The following Saturday is UFC 268. It's supposed to be a year, but they don't follow it. Yeah, it's not a concrete rule. That's what I'm saying. You know, maybe they say that, but there's plenty of times that it hasn't happened. Islam versus Hooker is better than Islam versus RDA. In my opinion, I preferred the RDA fight in that situation, but Hooker isn't a bad replacement. I think RDA is a very legit guy who doesn't get enough respect because he has losses at welterweight against the best in the world. I think he's a legit lightweight, and I might even picked him to beat Islam Makhachev, where I really favor Islam Makhachev in the Dan Hooker fight. Nunes hasn't defended in 2 years. It's unbelievable. She hasn't defended the bantamweight belt in 2 years. Yup. It's annoying, man. I'm with you. I don't see why Dana or Shelby just stripped this dude, honestly. Disrespect to every champ carrying that belt around. Yeah, but it's Jan's fault, man. I get what you're saying, and I'm frustrated with the situation too. But I'm tired of seeing guys cheat, whether it's purposely or unpurposely. And when you start having consequences for fouls, you naturally eradicate those fouls. So someone will think twice before they throw an illegal knee again. And Jan definitely will. And it happens with fence grabs. Um, it happens with eye pokes. Happens with groin shots. The fence grabs are the worst. Guys will grab a fence 3, 4 times, and the referee will just keep warning them and warning them. I'm okay. Second time, take a point. It would eventually stop. And so I'm for consequences. Uh, I don't. Did you see Sean's next opponent? Yes, we did talk about that, but thank you for letting me know in the chat because sometimes I do miss those things. Disgusting. Pavia, barely gets a win over Kyler Phillips, and now Sean O'Malley. That's who he wants to fight, just because he's barely ranked number 15. I hope Pavia just shuts down Sean O'Malley, beats him up, and we can never hear Sean O'Malley again because Sean O'Malley really annoys the piss out of me. He acts like he's so great. He talks a big game. He has a cult-like following, yet he's never beaten anyone. And the only ranked guy he's ever fought, he got slept by, and then he got stretchered out of the cage with no injury. What problems does Hooker cause? Striking. Islam Makhachev striking is awful. I'll be the first one to say it. I know people are high on him, and I'm high on him as well. His striking is not very good. It's not very good. Dan Hooker is probably the best striker he's ever fought. And Dan Hooker might land one of those knees right up the middle, those step-in knees, and KO him on a shot. The UFC kind of choose whether they want to strip someone or not. Nunes isn't going to get stripped because she would just want it back when she's ready to fight. Agreed. Are you high on Yuri Prochazka? I think he's about to turn the light heavyweight division upside down. I'm very high on Yuri Prochazka. I was talking about that in the beginning of the stream. I don't know if you were here or not. I was saying, imagine Glover Teixeira pulls out of the fight and we get Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka is the backup. He said he's training. He's ready to go for UFC 267. Imagine we get Jan Blachowicz versus Yuri Prochazka. I love Yuri Prochazka. 2 fights in the UFC and just looks crazy. It's insane. It's insane. Dominick Reyes fight was absolutely wild. The spinning back elbow just sleeps him. I did a live stream of that Dominick Reyes fight, and it was absolutely incredible. I'm very high on him. I've said this multiple times on streams and in other videos. I think Yuri Prochazka and Alexander Rakic are the future of the light heavyweight division. Joey, they must have paid Dan a lot because Shimo podcast, he said he'll fight Islam at 270, but October 30th wasn't going to work, so I'm sure they paid him. That's being said, second round TK. Dan, second round TK. Oh, he definitely got a good paycheck to step in. I love Yuri. He's awesome. How can you not love Yuri? He's an absolute warrior, and his fighting style is wild as hell. Joey, how do you rate Khabib striking? I would say it's better than Islam's, but it still left a lot to be desired. But his grappling heavy style leads him to success on the feet. Thoughts on Khamzat Chimaev? He fights soon. Will he continue to be dominant? I think he will beat Li Jingliang. I think his striking is looking pretty good for the early stages of his career. And I think it looks better than someone like Khabib. And his wrestling looks very, very good. Grappling top game looks amazing. So if he can put that all together, he can be a real threat in the welterweight division. So when we get closer to the fight, Nostalgic, I'll do a full breakdown and prediction of that fight. Who in here, is there anybody in this live stream right now? Who's joining me tomorrow? I'll be live streaming during the Bellator 267 fight. Who's going to be in here tomorrow? I bet you some of you guys were surprised just to see me go live tonight. I didn't have anything to do. I just finished dinner, and I said, you know what? There's so much news. I'll go ahead and do a random live stream right now. And so I just popped on, threw a thumbnail up, typed a quick title, and popped on. So we are almost to 1,300 subscribers. We are at 1,293 subscribers. 7 subscribers away from 1,300. So if you guys are in here and you're not subscribed, go subscribe. Get me to 1,300. I'm hoping by tomorrow we hit 1,300. I think we are. We've been growing, getting quite a few every single day. I want to say today, I think we started out today with like 1,280, something like that. So we've got about 10, 13 subscribers today. What time is it? It'll be 4 p.m. Eastern time. 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Yusuf. I don't know what time it goes to, so it might go till like 7. So 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern would be my guess. But we will see, my friend. We will see what it goes to. But I'll be starting around 4. I have it scheduled on my channel, so if you want to see, it'll show you your own time on there. For Dan to take this fight and be away from his country indefinitely is huge. Let's go, Dan. I mean, you got to respect him for taking the fight. Who wants to fight Islam Makhachev on short notice, honestly? Awesome, Yusuf. I will see you there tomorrow. I don't know what else is on the card, honestly. Bellator 267. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Let's see what we got. Ooh, this is not a very good card. Yeah. I don't know who half these guys are on this card. The co-main is Lee McCourt versus Jessica Borga. Robert Whiteford versus Andrew Fisher. Luke Trainer versus Yannick Bahati. But either way, I'm excited for Douglas Lima versus MVP. That's why I did a prediction for it. Do you think Khamzat will look the same after his COVID absence? I don't know. It's hard to say, man. You never know. Some people could Alexander Volkanovski looked incredible at UFC 266, and he came back from a brutal bout of dealing with it. So Khamzat could come back looking better than ever. He could come back and look different. I honestly believe Cody Garbrandt, his cardio looked terrible when he came back, and I think it had something to do with that. I really believe that. I do like how Bellator fighters are trying to make it look like boxing. I heard McKee's kid say, Volk, let's unify the belts. That'd be silly, AF. Yeah, Volk, I think Volk would beat up AJ McKee. But AJ McKee's a promising prospect. Maybe he'll make his way to the UFC. The UFC will never do any cross promotion. It will never happen ever. They don't even like even when they talk about Michael Chandler, they say former a champion in another organization. They don't even say the word Bellator. They will never do cross promotion because if their fighter loses, that's a bad look for them. Regardless if we think some of the best fighters are in Bellator, some, not as many as are in the UFC, it would be a terrible look for the UFC. We are here to commemorate Dan the Hangman Hooker. Yep, guys, did you guys see? I called that fight 3 days ago. There's a video on my channel talking about it from 3 days ago, and I said my money goes to we will see Dan Hooker versus Islam Makhachev. It was on the RDA replacement video. Let's see. I was just reading the comments. Some guy was calling me a casual because I said that Islam Makhachev gets a lot of hype from being in association with Khabib, which is true. Regardless of how good he is, we can all admit that that's true. I don't get why people have a problem saying that. I don't understand that at all. Let's see. I know they have good fighters outside the UFC, but you can't say you're the best in the world until you fight in the number one promotion. And I guess you can say it. I mean, nobody's going to stop you from saying it. But I really like Dan, but this is one of the worst fights for him. It's a terrible stylistic matchup, but it's high risk, high reward. I mean, if he goes out there and beats Islam Makhachev, I mean, he's propelling himself into title contention and shutting down a massive hype train. I mean, Islam looks good, but if Dan Hooker comes in on a month's notice and beats him, let's say KOs him with a step-in knee, just sleeps Islam Makhachev, do you know what kind of hype that Dan Hooker will get? And also, he's probably getting the biggest paycheck of his career maybe for stepping in on this fight. UFC want to keep Islam on the card. They want to keep him against a legitimate fighter. They don't want to just throw somebody out. They don't want to throw Chris Montino in there against Islam Makhachev like they did for Sean O'Malley. So it would be it's high risk, high reward for Dan Hooker, and it's low risk. I mean, not low risk. It's not really. If he loses, he can say, you know what, I went on short notice. I gave it my best, and I didn't win, but I'll build back. It doesn't really matter if he loses. He has a built-in excuse that he took it on a month's notice. Will you ever live stream a Canelo fight? I don't think so. I'm sorry, my friend. I don't watch boxing too much. As much as I love, MMA, I'm not big into boxing. I don't understand the weight classes all that much or the belts. I just don't feel like I'm educated enough on it to do that. But I'm live streaming the Bellator fight tomorrow. I'm live streaming the UFC fight on Saturday. So join me there. I'll be watching those fights there, and I've been doing the Dana White Contender Series every Tuesday. Dariush versus Islam was a fight I wanted to see. Maybe it'll happen next if he gets the win. If he gets the win, I think maybe that'll be next because Dariush doesn't want to fight till next year, and Islam, if he wins in October, could probably do that fight in February, March of next year. It's true he gets hyped because of Khabib, even though he's skilled. Exactly. Some guy was commenting on my video saying how I was a casual because I said that. Let's see. I love how great the old UFC card was, and then everything started to fall apart. Now you could argue the card was even better. That was one of the first things I said when I opened this stream up, Homework. That was one of the first things I said. You're right, if he beats Islam, puts him right there. If he loses, where did that put him? Exactly, yeah. That's not a bad look. Would RDA versus Arman make sense? Maybe. Arman Sarukian just got his big win and looked amazing doing it. I can't remember who he fought, though, honestly. But let's see. Let's look at the division right now. Arman's 13. He could fight Gregor Gillespie. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Give me Arman versus Gregor Gillespie. I don't know if the RDA fight's probably too much of a step up. Arman versus Gregor Gillespie would make a lot of sense right now. Or even you could do Arman versus the winner of Rafael Fitzev versus Brad Riddell. But I don't know if they want to kill off contenders like that. But we will see. Okay, man, you should stream Wilder Fury though, because it was tons of views. When is that? When is that? I am the defense. Or that's the French fries. I was reading I am the defense up here in the green. But then I just realized it was French fries down here. Peter Yan versus Corey, rubbing my hands like a bird, man. I know exactly what you're saying. Peter Yan, okay. Arman versus Carlos Diego Fajeda. Carlos Diego Fajeda had a fight in November, but he pulled out with an injury. So I don't know when he's going to be ready to go again. I got Peter. I can't go against him. I agree 100%. I'm on the Yan hype train. Can't deny that. I never understood why the UFC pushed Chandler so hard. I just think because he's well-spoken. He has an exciting fighting style. He's a former champion in another organization. I just think he's very promotable. He's very, very promotable. He's quotable. Just very well-spoken and not a crazy trash talker. And some people know him from Bellator. So I think they were just trying to use what they had there. And also, he's older, so it's like now or never for him. So he almost won a belt, though. He was almost a lightweight champion. He almost beat Charles Oliveira. 10 days. What is in 10 days, Yusuf? Oh, 10 days is when the boxing match is. 10 days is when the boxing match is. I see. Maybe. I'll have to think about that. I don't know how much that pay-per-view is. Guys, do me a favor. Like the stream. Run up the likes on the stream. It helps support the channel. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, you can now send super chat donations. The little money sign is next to where you type your message. Everything goes back into the channel. What's next for TJ Dillashaw? I'm hoping Merab Dvalishvili. TJ Dillashaw versus Merab Dvalishvili. 5-round main event of a fight night. Would absolutely love that. Would love that. I don't know if that TJ Dillashaw would love it. But Merab deserves a big fight. The division is backlogged right now. You got to wait for Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen to fight Aljamain Sterling. And then Rob Font versus, Aldo's happening in December. That could be a number one contender. And so bare minimum, Yan and Sandhagen plays out. They ain't fighting Sterling until February, March of next year, most likely. So you're looking at summer of next year till TJ Dillashaw is getting his title shot, if he just waits it out. So you're telling me TJ Dillashaw just sat out for 2 years for injecting PEDs into his body, and now he's going to sit out? He fought Sandhagen in August, I believe? August? When did he fight Sandhagen? I think he fought him in last month, August. I'm not 100% sure. I wish I could. Hold on, let me look that up, because now it's going to bother me. TJ Dillashaw versus Corey Sandhagen. Okay, so that was July 24th. Damn, that was July 24th. So he's already been out so August 24th, September. So he's already been out 2 months. What, he's going to sit out another? So it's beginning so all October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. He would almost sit out another year after. He wouldn't be fighting until June, July of next year. And who knows what could happen in between there. Isn't Yuri from Bellator? I feel like he knows, knowing no one talks about it. Did he fight for Bellator? I know he was in Ryzen for a while, but maybe he was in Bellator a while ago. No, he was not in Bellator. He was in Rising. He fought CB Dalloway. Ugh, poor CB Dalloway. That's a terrible fight for him. So many great fights to make. I know, man. There's amazing fight after amazing fight to really make. Can you imagine Merab versus TJ? I love that fight. Merab with his unlimited gas tank. TJ Dillashaw with his supposedly still unlimited gas tank. Would be a lot of fun. TJ should fight the winner of Aldo Rob, especially if it's Aldo. I would love to see that. That makes perfect sense. Is it me or Giga coming off super annoying with the call-outs? I get it, man. I get it. It is annoying. I know exactly what you're saying. But you got to respect it. I mean, to call out Max Holloway, that's a tough call-out right there. I agree with you. He is getting a little bit annoying, especially when guys are booked for fights. So, TJ versus Merab, winner gets the next shot. Would have no problem with that. That makes more sense. I don't even know what we were talking about. Most people are favoring Font in the 5-rounder, right? Yeah, I think so, but I'm going to pick Jose Aldo in that fight, I believe. I think Jose Aldo pulls that one off. I think Jose Aldo just has more tools. I don't think Rob Font's going to try to take him down. Rob Font has good hands, really solid jab, but I just don't think that he's going to be able to outstrike Aldo for the majority of the fight. I just don't think that's going to happen. But maybe he takes over and finishes him in the 4th or 5th round. That's happened to Aldo a lot. Please tell me I'm off topic. I am not the only one who wanted Cyborg Amanda rematch. I wanted Cyborg versus Amanda rematch. I was pissed the UFC didn't re-sign her or re-up her contract or let her walk or whatever it may be. I was pissed. Because that was the only match to make. You know, Chris Cyborg was used to going out there and bulldozing people. And it was the first time she met any resistance and she got slept. I wanted to see her come back and see what kind of adjustments she could make. So I'm sad that we didn't get to see that. It really does suck. Do you think Aldo should be getting a title shot beating Rob Font considering he lost to Yen and TJ is there? I don't know, man. It's hard to say. That one's a tough one. But he would be on a decent win streak. The first fight was fun up until he got smashed in the 4th round. I would still like to see it. I think he could earn the title shot. If he beats Font and then beats TJ, I would love to see it. Even though I don't like it, Aljo did kind of calculate his moves. He had no chance but to accept the fight. If he didn't, he would be stripped. So 1 month before the fight, he called it off and still be safe. Yeah, and if he's really injured, which their doctor's looking at him, it's not like he just gets to say he's injured and get away with it. So I believe he's injured. He will fight Yan eventually anyway. I can see Aldo wrestling Rob in the later rounds to slow down the fight, kind of like he did to Cheeto. Yeah, and Rob Font's wrestling and takedown defense is not very good. UFC called Cejudo's bluff. They don't care what he wants. Exactly. He was there. He retired as a negotiating tactic, and he got destroyed. And they said, we don't care about you. Stripped. And I don't think he beats Petr Yan. I don't know why he's calling out weight class above. Volkanovski would destroy him. For some reason, Dana really didn't want that. Did you hear Shield said if she would fight on Paul? Dude, I'm so tired of hearing about that. The boxing match crap that's just YouTubers and washed up UFC fighters. Yeah, I feel like the fight should have had the DC Stipe treatment. First fight was a KO in round 1, and then they go on to do the trilogy. Nunes could have 2-0'd her, but it'd be interesting to watch. Yeah, and it was better than any of the other options at 245. That's why I'm sick. Dana White was happy that Cyborg got brutally KO'd, and he didn't want to give her a chance at redemption. And also, she was being difficult, so I get it from the UFC's perspective, but I'm sad that we're going to miss out on that fight, and that's never going to happen ever. Okay, yeah, let's talk about Cruz versus Pedro Muhoz. I think Cruz beats Pedro Muhoz. The leg kick should be interesting. Yeah, I actually called. I've called 2 fights recently, and I'm not saying I'm some genius. You know, if you look and you start putting things together, you can figure out who's fighting who. But I did say it on my channel before it was announced. It was like I posted my video a half hour later. MMA Junkie was reporting it that it was happening. But I love Dominick Cruz versus Pedro Muhoz. It's a fun stylistic matchup. I'm sad to say that I favor Pedro Muhoz. He's got a granite chin. He's got power in both hands, and he's got amazing leg kicks. So I think he kicks Dominick Cruz's legs off, slows him down, beats him up, and probably wins a decision, unfortunately, for Dominick Cruz. But it's a fun fight. If Dominick Cruz can get a win, he's in a good spot in the division. It's almost sad to see him at I think he's number 11 in the division, you know, being the bantamweight GOAT that he is. I would love to see Volkanovski move up now since he beat Ortega. There's too many great matchups for him still at featherweight. You have the Max trilogy. You have the Giga Chikadze fight. You have a potential Korean zombie fight. You have, you know, there's guys moving up in the ranks themselves, you know, further down. Let me pull up the division real quick that he hasn't fought. Muzar Avilov moving up. Ilya Taporia. I don't know if they're ever going to make it to a title shot, but they're interesting. If he beats, so you have Max Holloway Yair, winner of that fight fights him. So you either get the Max trilogy or the Yair fight. Then he beats them. Then I think he fights Giga Chikadze next. If he beats him, then I can see him moving up. But until then, I don't need to see him move up. To be honest, Cejudo should just go box Ryan Garcia to make the most money he can. I think he's still under UFC contract. He retired. I think he's still in the USADA testing pool. So, I don't know if he can do much of anything. He doesn't want to fight. He refuses to fight. So, it is what it is. Cejudo's screwed until if he decides to come back, he'll come back to the UFC. Please bubble wrap Khamzat Chimaev and the Li Jingliang fight. I agree. I agree 100%, man. That fight should be fun. I'm hoping it happens. We lost out on Khamzat Chimaev versus Leon Edwards 3 times over, and it was super disappointing. So I'd be disappointed if that fight falls out. And UFC 267 has had a lot of pullouts. Zabit I think will return. Yeah, apparently his coach or something said that he will return soon. So we will see. We will see who he fights. Maybe I'll make a video on that. Who can Zabit fight upon his return? Cruz did get to see Munoz fight Aldo live and maybe something. Yeah, but I mean Munoz is hard, but Cruz can come out and look better than ever. We never know. That's what makes that fight so interesting. Cruz has good striking, unorthodox striking, great footwork. I can't wait to see what he does against Pedro Muhoz. True, false. Adesanya, Wonderboy, Giga, Shevchenko, Yan are the best strikers in the UFC at the moment. I would probably say true. Guys, get any last questions on. I'm going to end this stream soon. We'll go for a little bit longer. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate the support. I love doing these live streams. I'm doing one tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow for Bellator at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So watch along with the fights. Saturday, same thing. Watch along with the fights. Any more questions for the stream, leave them in there. Zabit versus Josh Emmett is a perfect return fight for both. Yeah, Josh Emmett's been out a while. He's been out for quite a while, so that would actually make a lot of sense. I think Zabit. I want to see the Zabit in a 5-round fight though. Maybe he doesn't want to upon his return though. I don't know if he really wants to, just because he's been out for so long, and I don't know if he wants to fight 5 rounds. His cardio has been an issue his entire career. Robbie Lawler versus Wonderboy should be up next. I wouldn't mind that fight, but I think Robbie Lawler probably loses, but it would be an interesting matchup. That was a fight that was proposed multiple times when Robbie Lawler was champion, but just never came to fruition. So maybe it'll finally happen now. I would like to see Robbie just retire off of a win. He's one of my favorite fighters. I don't want to see him stick around for too long. What's going on, Torin Brown? We're about to end the stream, so if you have any questions, leave them in the chat. So last couple notes. Let me see. I think Jose Aldo beats Rob Font. We talked about that a little bit. I favor Islam Makhachev to beat Dan Hooker. Bellator 267. I did a preview prediction video for MVP versus Douglas Lima. Go check out that prediction video when the stream ends. UFC 267 has been very, very good, even though it's had its pullouts. We got great replacements at UFC 267. Let's see these last couple questions we have here. Wouldn't mind seeing Volkanovski versus Cejudo. I have no desire to see Cejudo. Cejudo get wrecked by Volkanovski. Did you see Cejudo lately really let himself go? I don't even think he has trains anymore. I only see him fight. He's mentally and physically ready to be at his best. I don't even want to see him fight, man. I have no desire. I don't care about Henry Cejudo at all anymore. It's one of those things where he's already been out forever. He's constantly just trying to steal shine from other fighters. And I'm just ready to see him disappear. And just stop talking, dude. Just shut up. You said in your post-fight interview last year, you don't have to hear my ass talk anymore. Well, do me that favor, and I don't want to hear your ass talk anymore. I think that pretty much wraps up this live stream, guys. We went for a quick hour real quick. I jumped on here just to chat with you guys. Stop by tomorrow and join me for Bellator 267. MVP versus Douglas Lima. Hopefully that's a fun fight. So I will be here tomorrow. And I will be here Saturday for the UFC fights. Everybody come back for the stream tomorrow and Saturday. I greatly appreciate all you guys for putting questions. Do not forget to like the stream. Joey, I'm going to send you what Shield said about Paul after the stream. I want your reaction tomorrow. Okay, that's fine. Chewy retired. All right, guys. Thank you for coming into the random stream. I know I just threw it up randomly, but I figured, I've been trying to stream more, grow the channel more. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone, for supporting the channel. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow and Saturday on the live streams. Join me then. So talk to you later.